All right, perfect. I don't have anything planned for this call. For those who are new, who have never attended a call, I typically will just answer questions, um, mostly, unrelated to SMMA. I think most people like to ask me like questions about my life or their lives, how to spend their money, how to, mindset things and stuff like that. But we're also here to answer some technical questions if needed. Yeah. Anyone wants to start?
Yeah, can I start?
How's it going, Paul?
Hello, Oliver.
I know you always want to start. Always the first one to ask questions, huh?
Yeah, I didn't know that, but I
Very
think
good.
it's a good thing, right?
It's a very good thing. Yeah, it's a compliment. It's good.
Perfect. So, especially b before this meeting, I had a meeting with some clinic from my country, Romania, because I have some clinics in pipeline too from here, and yeah, basically was a discovery call.
Hmm.
And in my especially discovery calls, I put the questions, a lot of questions, but here in Romania especially. Um, they are getting bored very quickly, like okay, but we get in the meeting to talk. What can you do for me? So explain what you are doing and
Hmm.
all of that. And he's told me to put some questions. What's your process in the discovery call?
So, are you talking about the questions on like the calendar form, like before they book a call with you?
No, in the call.
In the call, yes. Okay, so what I noticed, especially with people who are just in the early stages, is they treat these calls as like an interview. They have like 10 questions and they just go one by one and just asking the questions. And there's no like smooth flow to it. So maybe do you feel like it's kind of like an interview where you're just asking them a question, they answer, then you ask the next question, and it's kind of like that for 5, 10 minutes?
No, I have some questions, like write it down on my screen, but
Hmm.
like it depends on their problems or like their responses.
Yeah.
And after after a response, let's say, I put another question like regarding his answer, like
Hmm.
it isn't a boring like interview or something like that. I go deep in the problem when it needs to, but they're getting bored very quickly, I
Okay. Yeah.
think.
If they're getting bored, it's just probably because you're just asking like questions that aren't super important or you're spending too much time on it. I'm the type of person that I am in sales calls. I'm a bit more direct. So I'm like, okay, so what made you hop on this call? Like, what problem are you trying to solve? They'll tell me. I'm like, okay, how long has this been a problem for? They'll say, like, I don't know, the past year. I'm like, okay, let me show you what we can do to help solve that problem. All right. And then after you go through that phase, then you can continue with the conversations and go a bit more in depth. Because it's true. I kind of get their point. If I hop on a call with you, first of all, I don't know you. How are you getting these clients? Are you cold calling?
Yeah, this call was from Cocoin.
That's it. So you cold called a random person, convinced them to hop on the call. They hop on the call and they're like, okay, what do you want? Like, why did you get in contact with me? And then you're over there just asking a bunch of questions. So I kind of get their point. All right. If they came to you seeking help, that's a whole different dynamic. You have the upper hand, the advantage, because you know they have a problem, they came to you. So now they're more willing to open up and answer your questions. But for me, even the same thing for me. Like some people will like they'll often pitch me in my DMs and stuff, and they start asking a million different questions about my business. It's like I'm not going to open up about my company and tell you all of the ins and out. You're a random stranger that just got in contact with me. Tell me what you can do. Show me the work you've done before in the past, and I will see if this can help me or not. Okay.
So you
So when
suggest to be more directly with them.
yes, a bit more direct. Build that trust, that confidence, so that afterwards they do feel like they can open up to you. Because if they get annoyed and they don't like um, answering your questions, it's probably because they don't trust you yet and they're a bit sketched out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
true, bro. I also wanted to add a good strategy to use, which is basically like I do it in the appointment setting aspect, which is like you ask the question after you build the relation and you validate them. So you cannot just keep asking them all the questions like how much you make, blah blah blah, because you are just putting them into a defensive mood. Like why you are just asking me these questions? I don't know you. I don't know anything about you. You're just being attacking me with questions. So they would think by a defensive mood, I don't want to work with you. What you should do, like it just like, oh, like how's your business going so far? And always go for the open-ended questions. Don't go to a closed-end question at all. Like, how's your agency like, or how's your business going so far? Oh, it's going good. I'm making, let's say, 50K a month, or if they say any number. Oh man, you're doing pretty good job in the market. I see a lot of people doing less than you. You're now validating them and making them open for you, and they will be willing to answer your questions.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you a lot for these advices. Also, I want to ask you something, Oliver.
Yeah.
What do you think about the startups companies? Like this clinic too is a startup. Like they opened the clinic
Hmm.
2 months ago, but it's a very big clinic. They had 6 cabinets or something like that.
Nice.
17 doctors.
Hmm.
So they're big, but they didn't say anything about money or something like that. They should have some money, right?
Of course. Yeah, if they just invested all of that money into opening these clinics and then also paying the staff, the doctors, they must have, or at least I hope, they have a budget for marketing. So 100%. And if anything, it's a good thing because there's two types of startups. There's a startup where it's a kid in his basement trying to start a business. And those types of clients, they typically don't have enough money. And then there's the other type of startup, which is with funding, which is, it looks like what you're dealing with right now. So they obviously have money to open these clinics. It's not free to do that. Okay, so if they have the funds to do that, they have the funds as well to invest into opening business or opening, putting money into ads, into marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Okay,
100%.
and
And if anything, it's a good advantage point who you have because you're like, look, you spent all of this money, you opened all of these clinics, you have all of these doctors to feed with clients. How are you gonna, get them fully packed? And that's when you
mhm,
come in.
yeah, yeah, of course. I talked with him about this, and yeah, I I wanted to ask you something, like one more question. I get a recommendation, yeah. I get a recommendation for another, like from another startup, an agribusiness. Like it's a farm of steaks. They have more than 300 steaks, Black Angus here in
Hmm.
Romania. And it's a startup too. They opened like 2 months ago or something like that, but it's an $4 million farm or something like that. But the owner said it to me that they have a lot of debts too, because yeah, it was an expensive project.
Hmm.
Do you think I should, let's say, not work with them, especially because yeah, I will think about that myself. But do you think I should ask them a lot of money or to start like lower,
So you
in
can
a lower
always
price?
you can always go lower in price, but you can never go higher. Okay. So if I pitch you, Paul, to work with me, it's $1,000. And then 5 minutes later I say, yeah, it's $5,000. You're gonna be like, what the hell? You just said, 1,000 earlier. So my philosophy is you always go as high as you can, and then from there, feel the room, feel the temperature. Okay. So if the person's like, whoa, that's way too much. I cannot spend 5,000 per month. My simple go-to is like, okay, how much were you willing to spend on this? And if they say three, then you're like, okay, three is not too bad. And then you sort of negotiate from there. But just because a company is in crazy debt does not mean that they cannot afford to work with you. They understand the value of using their money to build something that in the future will make them more money. Okay, so it's not it's not like a credit card debt. Like a business debt is very different. Okay, so I would, especially a company that size, if they have 4 million worth of stake or whatever, then they have the funds for sure to work with you. It's all about the amount of value you're gonna bring to them. Okay, my typical go-to is you should make 10x value to the business. Okay, so if I charge 1,000, I should be making the company at least 10,000 by working with me. So you charge
Mhm.
accordingly. How much value, how much money can you make them?
Mm,
Okay. So if the guy comes to you and he's like, hey, I can put 500 bucks per day in ad spend, you know you're going to make them a crazy amount of sales and a crazy amount of money. But if he comes to you and he's like, hey, I can only put 20 bucks per day, then you're not going to charge 10K per month to work with you. Okay.
okay, okay, understand.
So that's how I like to do it. I like to take more of like many people, they especially in the beginning, they have a number in their heads, and that's the number I'm charging. I'm charging 2K per month. Whether the guy's broke, whether the guy's super big, it's 2K per month. For me, I like to take more, especially in your industry, like the marketing and everything. You have to take into account the actual client that you work with. Every client is super different. Okay, the budget, the amount of work they have to do, the amount of personal brand they have. If you start running ads for my stuff, it's going to be a lot easier than a random coach because I have YouTube, I have all of these things. So you cannot charge as much as you could for the other person. Okay. So take like look at it logically. Like, does it make sense? Like, how much money am I going to make this person?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Mm.
But yeah,
Thank you a lot.
don't be fixated on that number. But if I can give you a piece of advice, whatever number you think you want to charge, add a bit more. Okay, because they are going to negotiate, and then from there you can actually get the number that you wanted in the first place. So if I want 1,000 from someone, I will pitch them 2,500. They'll be like, wait, that's way too much. You're like, okay, how much does you want to spend? They'll be like, oh, about 1,000. And then again, I would hit them. My classic go-to is like, I always say, I'm like, look, we're relatively new as a company. We do have experience, but right now we're in the process of just building our personal brand and getting as many testimonials and good results for our clients. So I'm willing to do it for 1,000 just for you. However, in exchange, I do want a testimonial so I can at least use that as leverage to close the next client. Does that sound like a fair deal to you? And they will always say yes. Who's I film a short 30-second video on my phone, and in exchange I save 1,000 bucks. Like they're gonna say yes for sure. And it makes sense, in their heads why you're giving them the discount.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Make
Thank
sense?
you.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
totally.
Come on, close those people, man. Make some money for us. Give me a juicy testimonial on the school group so I can screenshot it and put it on my story. I closed the
I,
company for 10K a month. Come on, I want something like that.
I will do my best. I will do my best.
Okay, good job. Cool. How's it going, Byron?
I'm good. Thank you.
Is this the first time you're attending one of these calls?
Yeah, first
Cool.
time.
When did you join the program?
Last Friday.
Last
Maybe
Friday?
last Thursday. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Welcome to the team. And where
Thank
are
you.
you calling from?
Canada.
Canada? Where in
Mhm.
Canada?
BC.
You see. I'm in Montreal. Kind of
Gotcha.
close. Cool. Perfect. What's your question?
Let's see here. Okay, so first off, I noticed you said 10x return. So are you saying that like let's say that are you saying that that's a 10x return on the ad spend or what they pay you? So
What they
let's
pay
say
you.
like what they pay me and then they're
It's
also paying their own ad spend then, right?
exactly. Like it's not like exactly 10x. It's just
Right, right.
as a general rule, you want to bring someone 10 times value
I see.
to when you're
So
working
basically,
with
like
someone.
in terms of the total amount of money they're spending in order to bring in the amount of business, it would be like
Mhm.
obviously lower than 10x because of they're also spending on the ad spend. Like maybe they pay you 100 or they pay you 1,000, they make 10,000.
Yeah,
But then let's say they're also paying 1,000 in ad spend, so then it'd be like a 5x ROAS from their perspective, right?
exactly. But you
Okay.
shouldn't be too because ad spend is something they should be spending every single month, whether they
Right.
work with you or they don't. So that's
Right.
not really on your shoulder. So it's more so your fee that you should be 10xing. But yeah.
I see. So the main thing that like I've this is something that I've noticed and I kind of wanted to discuss with like, the community because I think like a lot of people would probably have like similar experiences. So in
Hmm.
in my situation, what I did was I got like a lot of people or actually no. Basically I targeted real estate agents
Hmm.
and then the common like it would always come down to this. Like this would be the make or break type of thing. So basically I'd be like, okay, I can get you these leads. And then like I told him these stats about like, oh, you can close like even if you're closing at like a 1% conversion rate, like these leads will still make you money because because for real estate agents, each lead is a lot of money,
Mhm.
or each conversion is a lot of money. But basically
Okay, right
the
away, if I can stop you, that's not a very good approach because you're
uh-huh.
not super confident in the leads that you're going to be bringing to them. So even if you do use that reasoning of like, hey, if you only close 1%, you'll make a bunch of money, they
Hmm.
still have to spend a bunch of time with all these leads. I know for me, I'd instead of getting 100 leads per month, I'd rather get two, but know that those two are super high quality and they're ready to buy.
Hmm.
Okay, so right away, I would just uh, switch my approach or
But
the
you're
way I
saying
sort
like,
of
wait, so you're saying like pitch them less leads but quality leads?
not pitch them less lead, but just don't say it like that.
Oh,
Don't
I see, I
say,
see.
oh, even if we only convert 1%, then you can still
Right.
make some money because it's not necessarily a good thing.
I see, I see. Yeah, I think I might have not said it like that, but like that was kind of like the idea. But
Hmm.
essentially like the main concern that they would have is like, yeah, I'm down for all of this, but like the thing is like how do I know that your leads are gonna like convert, right? So essentially what they want is like a guarantee or like a contingency plan
Hmm.
where it's like, yes, I'll pay you whatever amount, like 25%, whatever, like 30% of the money that I make, but
Yeah.
like I need to know that they do close, right? Because from their perspective, if they pay upfront, like it's a risk to them, right? Which makes
Hmm.
sense. And even if, because I was doing like a per lead type of thing, but even if you're not doing per lead, like other people may be like, I'll manage your ad spend for you, and then you pay me like 2K a month or whatever. But then from the customer's perspective, they're just thinking like, okay, like you'll manage my ad spend, but how do I know you'll do it profitably? Like it's always a
Hmm.
risk to them, like
Yeah,
upfront, right? And then when
100%.
people say like it's I'm giving you an offer, there's no upfront commitment from your end. That's not actually true because they're paying the ad spend. Like it's always that generally these offers are gonna be like they spend the money up front
Hmm.
and then like they hope for like a return, but that's not
Yeah.
guaranteed. So I'm just thinking that like this is just like a problem that I know. So I'm thinking like so from our perspective, the other thing oh actually, I mean, like have you noticed this as well? Like this is generally like how it goes. Like the
Hmm.
customer usually has to take a risk on whatever offer you're giving them, right?
100%. I mean, it's
Okay.
their business at the end of the day. You cannot be taking 100% of the risk when you don't have 100% control of the outcome. That's typically what I
Right.
tell people because you're not out
Right.
there closing the deals for them.
Right.
Okay.
So then, yeah. So then my
So,
follow-up to that would be like when we're pitching them, do we ourselves know that we can get them profitable results or we can get them like a lead at a certain cost such that it'll be profitable for us and them? Like so because we haven't at that point we haven't run the actual campaign. We don't know
mhm.
like what the cost is going to be.
Yeah.
Excuse me, sorry. We don't know what the cost is going to be to acquire like the clients or whatever leads or thing that they want.
Mhm.
So like when we're pitching this, how do we like why do we believe that we can do it profitably?
So, have you already signed a client in the past?
No, I haven't.
Okay. So, you will see over time with the more clients that you work, the more it becomes like a copy paste system. Everyone more or less will get the same outcome through your system. But because you haven't done it before in the past, you don't know if your system is capable of getting them good results or getting them ROI on their investment. Okay, so for that first client, it's always going to be a bit tricky. But
Mhm.
over time, as you have proof, as you have case studies, as you can show them results, you won't have that sort of objection anymore because people are going to actually see it before. And now, of course, if they come to you and you've never done it before in the past, they will ask you, what's to be expected if I put, let's say, 3K per month in ad spend? And you in return cannot really give them an answer because you've never done it before.
Hmm.
Okay. It's as if in my coaching program, if I've never coached anyone and someone comes to me and they tell me, Oliver, what type of results can I see by working with you? I cannot really answer them because I've never coached anyone before in the past. But
So I
now that
mean,
we have,
right. So I mean, in your case, then, like when you're doing the first thing, like when you're going from 0 to 1, like what is the like why do you believe that you can coach them? Like, I mean, in your case, like it's slightly different, but let's say you're doing like the ads. Like,
yeah,
why do you believe that you'll be able to get them the results you say you get them before you've actually like done it, like in the zero
because
to one type of.
because other people are doing it. There are other agencies who are working with the same type of clients or real estate agents who are getting results through Facebook ads or Google ads or whatever you're doing. The number one thing you can do to mitigate this is to work. with a media buyer or someone who has already done it before in the past.
Mhm.
So if
Oh
you
no,
partner up, go
so
ahead.
I actually have like I actually have done like a lot of experience on media buying. So like I know how to
Hmm.
do it myself. But the thing is like every new campaign, if it's like in a new niche or whatever, like just because one of my campaigns worked for like another category or another service doesn't
Hmm.
mean
That's
that I
very
know
true.
it will work for like a different thing. So that's kind of my concern. Like for a campaign that I've never run before, like how do I know it's going to be profitable before I run it?
But that's why you would stay in the same niche. That's the whole point of niching down, is that you can have predictable results if you work with always the same type of clients. If I start coaching one person for e-commerce, the other person for trading, and this one SMMA, of course I cannot guarantee the same outcome for all of them because I'm working with different types of people.
Mm,
But
I
if I'm
see.
only working with marketing agencies, I know how to teach people how to start marketing agencies because that's all I do. So
Mm,
now you're sort of jumping to one thing to the other. So that
I see.
first client, yes, it's going to be tricky because you've never done it, but the more you do it and you stick in that same niche, then from there you can have predictable results for your clients.
I see. So I guess my like concluding question here would be like if we really believe that we can get them the profitable results
Hmm.
at like a in a situation where it's both profitable for us and them, then like why not actually just make it contingent and actually require no upfront commitment from them? Because that
Yeah,
would make the close like so much easier.
yeah, you could 100%. That's what I encourage most people to do, especially for their first couple of clients. It's just in a business side of things. You have to look at your CAC, your cost to acquire a client. So let's say it cost me $2,000 to acquire a client that's going to pay me 4,000, but I only get paid in 4 months or whatever. Like by having an upfront fee, you can spend money to acquire a client. So that's how you can really scale a business like crazy. And if you never collect anything upfront, then you have this period in business where you kind of have to wait for your clients to see results to scale. So it's just that, and it's safer for you as well by collecting money
Mhm.
upfront. And also, typically, the type of clients that you get who aren't willing to invest anything in the front end are typically clients that you don't really want to work with. It's just
I see. So you're saying that like what you recommend is like for the upfront thing, like you would pay their ad spend and everything like
no,
that it take. You
no,
don't pay their ad spend.
no,
So
no,
basically that's what
that's
I'm
crazy.
saying. Like if we truly believe that like our thing, like whatever they pay is gonna yield like more money for them and like
Hmm.
will be still profitable, like why not just cover everything until they're actually making money and then you take a portion of the money that you bring them.
Okay, so let's say you do an amazing job with ads, you get them a bunch of leads, they're all qualified and everything. But your agent, he's lazy, he doesn't know how to close, he never wants to work, he doesn't never goes on the job sites or whatever. And he is not able to close deals, even though you're doing the most that you can from your end. Now you're going to be held responsible for that. It's going to be on your shoulders.
Okay,
Okay,
so
so
I
then
would even I would even add to that and say, bro, you're not their business partner, bro. It's not
mhm.
up to you to invest into their business. Like with ads, they're not paying you, they're paying for themselves and to be able to acquire more clients. So why is it up to you to fucking spend for their ad spend, bro?
yeah, I know. So obviously it's a worse deal for me, but basically what I'm saying is that like if you pitch it like that, it's a much better off. It's almost like a no-brainer offer for them. Like they would always take that because right. So basically, I'm saying
Of
like if you have
Of course, but like you have to find this balance. It's as if I pitch you this program and I tell you, hey, it's completely free to work together. I'll go into your business, I'll become your business partner, and I'll work with you until you start making money. If
mhm,
that was my offer, I would close everyone. It would be super
right,
easy. But I
right.
cannot do that because now it's like you have to find this balance. It wouldn't make
The
sense
other
for me
one
to
thing I
do
was
that.
going to say is when you bring people good leads and customers, you don't always know if they close the deal and how much it's for. So how do you know how much to get paid? So just be aware of that. And then the other thing too is running ads. You're going to run some parallel ads, right? And see which one works the best, and then start working towards that one, so that you can focus and dial in what works for that niche.
Yeah.
I would even say that you would attract, and Luke mentioned it in the chat, you will attract the worst type of people, like people that do not want to spend anything on ads, do not want to spend money on retainers or fees for you. So it's also just a bad idea in terms of like client relationships and stuff.
Oh yeah, and yeah, my bad for just cutting in. My fault
No worries.
completely.
No, you're
Uh,
fine.
yeah, bro. Oliver, I started running ads. I'm gonna show you in a second. But uh Byron, some like the way I got my guy that I just closed on landscaping to like get me to pay $50 a day was when he started like tripping about the ad spend, right? He was tripping about the whole thing, the service fee, and saying, wow, I gotta spend almost half of $100 a day. And then what I said, like the way I said it, even with the retainer was like, all right, think about it this way. We could work off paper close if you're worried about just the ad spend in my service fee, right? And let's say I take half of that. Listen, I know I'm gonna perform. So when I start getting you more than almost like 5, 6 landscaping jobs and you have to pay me 700, 800, how would that make you feel? Then that's when he's like, oh yeah, well, I'd be paying you too much money. So then that's when I hit him with this. I said, I don't know how I said my delivery was great. I think I said, all right, well, why don't you just pay me what I'm worth now and save the money? And then he ended up closing. So like, don't be afraid to like show a little bit of teeth when it comes to ad spend. Let them know like, yo, listen, I can provide you the car to get to your destination, but you got to pay for the gas.
Wait, so
Damn.
so basically,
Someone
wait,
write that down.
Yeah,
yeah.
all right, I'll say it one more time, bro. Because I said this. I was like, listen, I will give you the Ferrari of systems. Just pay for the gas. That's it. That's all you have to do.
Right. Wait, so just to make sure I understand, like your original thing was like if you're doing paper close, I'm assuming you're saying that's like contingent, right? So like they don't pay until you get them the results. But the thing is you charge at like a high rate, such that it'll be like 700, 800 for like whatever amount of jobs. And then for them, they were like the 700, 800, does that mean like you're taking like 40%, 60%? Like what percentage is that for your case?
Oh, well, I was just giving a random number. Like,
Oh, okay.
threaten them with 50, bro. Tell them, like, yo, listen, if we do paper close, like, I'm essentially doing half the work in qualifying, so I'll take half the payment. And
Mm,
when they, kind of their face falls a little bit, be like, yeah, I mean, it would suck paying a lot of money, right? Because that's what's gonna happen. So why don't you just pay me the 1,500 I'm worth now and have your results guaranteed?
You're basically giving them like two options. You're like, look, if you
hmm
do want to work fully performance based, I can do that, but I am taking a huge amount of risk by doing that because I don't control 100% of the outcome, but I take 100% of the risk. So if we do that, I have to be rewarded for that. So because of
mm,
that, I will take 50 or 60. Like you make it a number where it's like it makes sense, but it's still like it hurts a lot.
hmm
And then they're going to be like, well, I cannot give you 60% of what I make, that defeats the purpose. You're like, well, yeah, well, that's the fee that we charge for fully performance. Otherwise, what I can do is just only charge you 1,500 per month. And then from there, I'll work with you and you can back it up with like, I'll guarantee that you'll at least make your ROI back by working with us.
Right.
Okay. But for your, why real estate agents? Like, what was your other niche? Because you mentioned earlier that you've already worked with someone before in the past, like in a different market.
Oh no, so those were just those weren't for other people, those were just for myself. Just things that I was like selling.
Okay.
Real estate I chose because they're high ticket price and there's like a lot of them. But I mean, uh like I didn't continue with it for very long, but like I definitely cold called like 1,000 people, um, and set like a lot of meetings and stuff.
Okay.
But like it's not that I couldn't continue it, but it's just that I wanted to kind of like take a pause, take a step back, and like evaluate everything. But um, so basically like regarding the thing like I think what you said makes sense in that like we cannot control the entire process. Like if they
Mhm.
don't work the leads and whatnot, then they wouldn't be able to close. But then like if that's the case, then that like wouldn't that just make them like let's say that they're that type of person who's not gonna like do the work to close the leads, then like
Yeah.
they're not somebody like if they're that type of person, like even if you pitch them another offer, they're gonna leave you eventually because like if they're not gonna work the leads and close the leads, then over time they're not making money, and
Mhm.
then they'll be like, why am I paying you anything?
Yeah.
Because they're not making money. So then if they're
Mhm.
that type of person, then it doesn't matter what you do, like you're gonna get dropped, right?
Yeah. So
So,
you cannot do anything about that.
right.
What you're gonna do is, you're gonna start charging people up front, and you will have some sort of money back, some safety net for them, but you're gonna tie it to a conditional guarantee. So it's like, hey, I guarantee you these results, but in condition that you do this, this, this. And you would list out the things that you need your agent to do. So if he is lazy or if he is like not calling the leads or not showing up and stuff like that, and he's not able to prove to you that he was doing all of these things that you sort of mentioned, um, then he's not going to be given a refund by working with you. And ideally,
Mm.
the conditions that you put in place will guarantee them an outcome because they're doing everything they're supposed to see a ROI.
Right.
Okay,
So
but
yeah,
yes, if you sign a client, he pays you and he doesn't do what he does and then he leaves, yeah. But there's not much you can do about that. He's not a good client to work with.
right. So yeah, I think like my understanding is still that like that type of offer is like still the no-brainer offer. It just puts a lot of risk on me. But the
Mhm.
benefit is that like because it puts the risk on me, it's an offer that like you'll close at a much higher rate, like almost at like maybe 100%.
It,
But
it's it's more of like a tool that you're going to be using to get people to hop on the calls. Because it's a lot easier for me to convince someone to work with me if I tell them, hey, we work on a performance base only.
and then you're saying like so and then you're saying like you switch it then to the other thing.
Exactly.
I got you.
So
Yeah.
you don't lie because you still have to present the performance based offer, but you
Mm.
give them two options now. And now when you compare both, you're like, huh, I like the other one better.
I see. So like I guess my question would be like because like so why not actually make the performance offer like something good? Is it because like I think a lot of people did mention like
Hmm.
the challenges with this. Like I think Steve mentioned it's hard to track what they actually convert and then I think you mentioned like you have that
Yeah.
cash flow problem, but that cash flow problem is only like 1 month, right? Because upfront you pay and then 1 month later you would be getting the results and they'd be paying you, right?
Yeah, you could. I mean, that's what I do with this program. I mean, we have a upfront fee and then the rest is performance. So it's not a bad deal. It's just
Uh-huh.
in business, you always want to make sure you at least cover your cost to acquire a client. But yes, you could. I know lots of people who are running very successful agencies on solely performance-based offers, and it
Oh,
works.
you do.
Yeah.
I see. But so then how do they track what they like um what the like agent or the person is making?
Yeah. So like you would use whatever system, CRM or accounting software that they use. So let's say I work with you on a performance basis. I would have access to your Stripe, to your PayPal and stuff like that. So I could see what's happening. And also they're not like if you are making someone a bunch of money, it is not in their interest to lie and to say like, yeah, nothing happened. Because
Mm-hmm.
then you're gonna get suspicious and it's not gonna be very much a good deal.
I see.
I have a friend who does performance based for solar. I think he's doing almost 10K a month now. What he used to do to track performance, I think was look at QuickBooks if they had it.
Mhm.
So you
Okay.
can literally set that up as a condition, like, yeah, you gotta give me access to your books so I can see what jobs are coming in.
Right. So is your friend doing full performance or like an upfront commitment plus performance?
I think he changed his offer. He does like he takes $1,000 as a fee, and he gets 12 installations and he gets some form of commission. And once those 12 installations come in, he refunds the 1,000.
Mm, I
So
see.
yeah, I don't know, bro. I still don't get it, but it's working for him.
Right.
There's someone in the
Because
program here in the call, Luke. I spoke with him
mm,
yesterday. He works with solar. If you want Luke to kind of give your insights on everything, he has a good offer with the performance, but he still collects something upfront because that also gets the client to commit to actually working with you. Okay, because
right.
last thing you want
Yeah.
to do is build out the entire system and then they're like, no, I don't want to work with you. Or they
Uh,
ghost you, you get them a deal, they ghost you. Okay, so you run into that risk as well if you do fully performance based.
Mm. Yeah, there's a lot of challenges I think, but like because my understanding is that just like if let's say you pitch them a fully performance thing, somebody else pitches them like an upfront whatever, they're going to be more inclined to go with you because it's a better offer for them, right?
That's not true. That's not true. Why do
Oh,
people buy Porsches when they can buy Hondas when it's a fraction of the price?
well, basically, so let's assume the service is the same then. Then like because the performance is no risk to them, all risk to you, or like you take the majority of the risk, right?
But
If it's
they're
the
both
same, like,
they're both cars. They both have the same service, which is bringing you from point A to point B. It's just the cars
uh-huh,
are very different.
right.
It's like,
So,
would you rather work with me as a coach, knowing I have the YouTube, the personal brand, the case studies, and everything, or the random guy who just texted you on Facebook saying he can help you? He might have a better offer where you pay nothing up front, and with me, you might have to pay something. But just by looking at those two things, which one are you more inclined? Which one do you think has a higher likelihood of getting you success? Obviously, the person who has the personal brand, who has the case studies and everything. So it's not always about price and offer.
mm. Oh no, so I'm
That's
saying like beyond like the monetary, like the quantity of the price, it's saying like whether you do the payment upfront or after the results have been delivered, right? So if you're saying that you only charge after the results have been delivered, then it's just a better offer, right?
Yes,
Hmm.
it's a better offer for them.
Also, and like this is what I feel too. That I've seen. Like at the end of the day, your prospect's not gonna work with you regardless of how good your offer is if they don't trust you. So like you could have like the best offer in the world with zero risk. You could cover their ad spend and do whatever, but at the end of the day, if they don't trust you, they will find a reason or find something that you're not doing and build on that.
Mm. All
So
right.
at that point, like keep in mind, like yeah, your offer is really good, bro, but also leverage it for yourself too. Like even if you have the option for a retainer and they think that okay, 50% for the paper close is too much, then they'll end up just paying the retainer.
All right.
Luke,
True.
do you want to share your offer? I know you work in solar.
Yeah, I mean, I can give like a small breakdown. So kind of what I offer is I have like two offers. So first, I use like I'm running ads for myself, like as inbound. So I'm using an appointment offer, like paper appointment. You can do paper lead, paper appointment, but something like that that's really catchy in on ads. This is it. Like it's kind of like it hooks people and then from there I have like that kind of offer that they pay per qualified appointment. They pay for the entire ad spend and they do like a $500 upfront payout, and that's like a commission payout. So that means like I'm saying you pay $100 per appointment, but you get the first appointments you pay upfront, so you can still collect some money. It's like not a full performance based, if that makes sense. And the second offer is like I'm saying to them like, hey, it's a 3-month partnership. You pay a one-time fee of 4,500, and you're spending $50 to $100 a day in ads. After 3 months, we then hand you over like the entire system, like you kind of sell GoHighLevel with your automations, with your SOPs, everything like that you have built in those 3 months for that client. You kind of provide that to them, like you kind of sell it to them, and then they can do it themselves. So that's kind of what I'm providing as an offer right now, and yeah.
So he has like a safety net. He still has that
Mhm.
500 up front, so they pay per appointment, but they just pay some in advance.
Right, right.
And also like if you even if it's like $500 that you take up front with your pay with your performance model, even if it's really small, like it's still like if you don't take something up front, like people will not take you serious. Like if they pay like a bit, they have like a kind of a commitment, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I see it. Mm,
So get creative, and I think yeah, you can make something work.
hmm.
I think Byron, like just to summarize this, it's your first client, okay? So it's not that serious of a topic, You just do like your goal right now is not to make money, but rather get experience so that you can sort of back up what you're pitching to people. Okay. So I would even say yes to a free trial. Okay, just because for you the most important thing right now is to test out what you're doing and see that it actually works and get case study and put your name out there. Once you work with that first client, you will quickly realize how much money you're making for your clients. And if you see with this amount of ad spend, I'm making X amount for my client, then it becomes very easy to justify your prices and sort of come up with a good pricing plan. But until you actually do it once for your clients, it's difficult to come up with a number. Okay, so don't be
Hmm.
too fixated on a number. Just try to get a client. If
Right.
someone says, "Hey, I want to work with you, but just performance based, I'll pay you once the deal closes. I'll cover the ad spend," say yes to that. Okay,
Mm.
even if it's 10%, 15%, 20%, because you will gain experience, and that's worth a lot more than the 10% or whatever. So even if they do ghost you, they lie to you or whatever, it is what it is. You gained experience, and then for your
All
next
right.
client, then you can come up with an actual offer.
I see.
Yeah,
Gotcha. All right. Thank you.
you're welcome. Cool. That's a good question. Any other questions for me?
I
I
could
see you.
actually show you my ads if you want. Yeah,
Sure.
we talked about running the ads, and I was like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna stop waiting.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Um, how much money you putting $50 per day?
Nah. What I did was I tested it out with $20 per day for 5 really crappy creatives, and it did get 2 leads. So we're gonna see what's up. So what I did was, hold up. Well, I'll show you the creatives, bro. Like when I tell you these are like hilariously bad, but they work, it went crazy. My friend in Solar actually did that.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on.
Click on
Dude, how do you
edit.
open the
Edit.
edit?
No.
Hold on. Yeah, there you go. Literally, that's what they would see. Like build 10 patios in 90 days guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
And he literally told me he's like, I think he said like the bad ads do the best sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
so just test it. So I put like $100 and yeah, I'm just throwing $20 daily on each, and
Yeah.
there are leads that are coming in. Like we're like literally at this point it's up to God, bro.
What's happening after they click on the ad? Like, what's the process?
I have an instant form. So here I'll show you. Um, Hold on, let me zoom out the way. Yeah, so this is the form. So oh, I gotta change the form. Hold on. But it would be 10 patios in 90 days guaranteed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then literally like there's no qualifying questions. I'm not filtering anything for leads.
Mm-hmm.
I have the privacy policy and then I have it so that they can just book their call directly.
Okay. How many leads have you gotten in so far?
I launched a couple hours ago. I have 2 leads and it
Okay.
spent like $13 so far. So I'm
Okay.
not tripping yet.
Cool. Treat it like a cold call almost. Okay. So when you get leads, even if they don't book a call, take their information, take their number, and call them right away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I called the 2 leads that I got currently.
Mm-hmm.
One did not answer, and the other one was like some crazy ass like $500 like retail rebate scammer. So, or I don't know.
Okay. Well, just continue. But yeah, the ads, like typically with picture ads, you can get results. Video ads work well as well. It's more in the follow-up process. That's the most important part. So when someone opts
Mhm.
in, what happens? What do you do with that information? But it's good. Get some experience and get to see what it's like and call those leads right away. Okay. As soon as they opt in, just call them.
Yeah, I have it so it pops up
Okay,
like
cool.
straight away and go high level. I have all the AI shit set up.
Okay, good. Yeah. Hop on a call with Ruben. I don't know when does Ruben do you guys calls?
I
Monday,
think it's like
Tuesdays?
12 p.m. Monday.
Tuesdays and Thursdays, he takes his
Tuesdays and
calls.
Thursdays.
Thursday.
Okay, perfect. I'll hop on a
Right.
call with Ruben and he's gonna be able to help you a bit more with that.
Cool.
Cool.
Yeah. Thanks.
Cool. You're welcome, bro. Cool. Any other questions? I see new names. Anyone wants to introduce themselves? I'm not gonna call out people today. Typically I do it, but today I'm feeling nice, you know. Or any questions, any updates?
Yeah, I want to ask you something.
Well, Paul's always there, huh, for the questions.
hmm
What's up, bro?
What's your sales cycle? Like, let's say, or what was the sales cycle for you, in your agency, not the course or something.
Yeah. So the agency course, the same thing, same process. The way I sell, I'm very heavy on like building rapport. I'm good at like sort of just asking questions, getting people sort of to open up and sort of share sort of their experience, their pain points. I am more like technical, so I don't really go in depth on like emotional type of questionings and stuff like that. Like, how would it affect your family if you're able to make an extra 10K per month with your business? You know, stuff like that. Like, I cannot ask those questions, even though it works and people do it. I personally like it doesn't click for me, you know. So I'm very logical. I'm like, what have you done before in the past? And I just break down their solutions and their pain points. Okay, so small talk, small line of questioning. So I like to get them to just open up. So I'm like, so what made you hop on this call? What problem are you trying to solve or improve? Yeah. And then
Mhm.
from there, they'll tell you, you elaborate just to understand sort of what you're doing, present the solution. And then once the solution is presented, that's when the sales part really starts. So depending on their feedback, I'll just handle objections. You know, so
Mhm.
what's like an objection you would typically hear?
On the sales part, it's too expensive, or I will think about that. I will
Mm-hmm.
talk with somebody about that. But when I when I do the sales, the close is almost 90%. So I don't have so much problems when it comes to sales. But My sales cycle is discovery call, and after
Mhm.
that the sales call. The problem is between those calls because we do the discovery call, and after that most of the cases they don't like schedule another sales call, because I'm pretty busy. Let's do this next week or something like that.
Mhm. So you do 2 call closes.
No, I do a discovery call, and after that, I do an sales call because I talk with him. Okay, and I tell them, okay, I will prepare for you an investment plan, an strategy for you, and I will show you what we do.
Mhm.
And yeah, this thing is in the second
Okay.
one.
And how long is that first call, a discovery call?
It depends, 30 minutes or almost an hour.
Yeah. See, that's the problem. Like going back to your first question that you asked at the beginning of the call, where people are kind of bored. You're spending a whole hour or 30 minutes on the discovery phase, which is a lot. And then at the end of it, you're not even getting to your point. You're like, okay, we'll do part 2 next week. Let's book another call. So I would do that entire process of those 2 calls, but in a 45-minute slot. Okay, so there's no point of doing like a 2-part close. There's no why are you doing 2 calls?
Um, just to have that personalized approach. Like, okay, I heard your problems, I heard your goals, and after that, I will do an investment for you. Like,
Yeah.
just to not appear like an okay, I have an investment plan for all of you.
Mhm. So look, we have for those that don't know, we have a second program where once you basically graduate from this, you start making more money. We help you scale a bit further with more advanced tactics, mostly through ads. Okay, the program is a lot more expensive than this one. Um, what I used to do, the way I would personalize my pitch to everyone, because I wasn't doing 2 call closes. Okay, we collect 5K upfront. Okay, and I would do it in the 1 call close. You start discovery, get to another pay points, present the solution, and then from there at the end, the way you personalize the solution is you take the numbers that you basically got at the beginning of the call. So example, how much do you have to invest into ad spend? Okay, what's your closing rate? What's your show rate? All of these things. And once I have those numbers at the end of my presentation, once I presented them the sort of my package, my service, I break down using their numbers what are the expected results. So I'm like, okay, so you told me you want to spend $100 per day. They're like, yes. I'm like, okay, so our cost per lead typically is $20. So with that amount of budget, you will get 5 leads per day. Let's say. With 5 leads per day, typically 20% will convert into a paying client. And I would just break down the entire numbers. And I'm like, okay, so with using $100 per day, I can get you, let's say, 15 qualified sales calls per month. What's your closing rate? And then let's say you tell me, oh, it's 30%. So I would calculate in front of them, like on the Google Doc or on my notes. I'll break down all the numbers. I'm like, okay, so if you have a closing rate of 20%, which we're going to help you increase, but let's say we don't even help you increase that, only a 20% closing rate, out of 15 calls, you can close 3 deals. How much is a deal worth to your business? We charge like 2K per month. Okay, perfect. So three deals per month at 2K per month. We're going to be adding 6K per month by working with us. And we're working together for 3 months. So 18K over the span of 3 months, we're going to be adding to your business. So for us to help you make an additional $18,000 per month MRR, our fee is only $5,000 upfront. Yeah. So you see, I personalize that to them by using their numbers.
You do like you are doing that, or yeah, you get the point, in the same in one meeting.
Yes.
Hmm.
You
And
don't want them, you don't want a 2 call close. Like there's no point of doing a 2 call. If you do a 2 call close, the only reason why you would do that, which I'm even against that, but what most people would do is a triage call and then the sales call. So a triage call is if you're getting so many leads that you don't want to overflow your closers with bad leads. So you have like a person who's just responsible to ask them questions or to qualify them rather. How much are you making? Oh, you make less than 10,000 per month? Yeah, we don't work with you. Bye. Next person. and he just takes a bunch of calls. And then once he finds, let's say, 8 people who are all making 25K per month, let's say that's the minimum you'd work with, then you schedule them on a sales call. And the sales call is discovery, presentation, make it personalized, and then handle objections, and then close, all in 45 minutes.
Well, for me, it's pretty hard because I used to talk like a lot. I talk a lot in a meeting. I don't know why, but I put a lot of questions. I talk a lot of things with the lead, and yeah, sometimes it's good, sometimes bad. What do you think about that?
Yeah, you have to stop that. Like you can ask questions, you can build rapport, but you have to be direct. Even I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but even in these calls, every week you're here and you're always the person who has the most calls. And you ask calls, you ask questions, which is good. But I'm just saying I noticed that about you. You're someone who's like you hold long conversations with people, which is a good thing to build rapport, but it's not efficient. You cannot do that at volume. Okay. So the only way you would justify doing like huge sales cycles is if you're charging huge amounts of money. Yeah. If it takes me a month to close someone, but that person's going to pay me 50K a month, I will do the call for 1 month. It's fine. You know? But if you're taking a bunch of calls for just $500 per month or 1K or whatever, it's not worth it.
Oh yeah, okay. I will try to make it shorter.
Try just to combine those 2 calls in one. Okay. Don't make it shorter. Okay. For now, because now you're adding too much variables in your thing. But ditch the discovery phase and just do it in one call. Come up with 3 questions that are super important for you to know to present their solution. Don't ask like stupid questions. How much you're making? What's your goal? What's holding you back from making that goal? And what have you tried? Let's say. Yeah, I'm making 10K per month. I want to make 50. I've tried to run ads, but I haven't been able to be successful at it. Boom. Perfect. Let me show you what we can do to help you. Present the solution. And you're like, okay, how much did you put into ads? Oh, we put just 3K per month. Okay, with 3K, boom, 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 break down the numbers. So by working with us, I can add you an additional $18,000 per month. And of course, everything's backed by a guarantee. So if we don't actually hit that, then we're going to refund you the entire fee that you paid us. Does that make sense? Like, yeah. And then boom, you pitch a price. Very simple. One call. Okay. Don't do 2 calls. You're wasting your time and you're wasting their time too. Okay. You're losing lots of leads because of that.
Good. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right, Andy, last question. I have a call at right now.
Sure. Hi, Oliver. Yeah,
How's it going,
yeah,
bro?
I was just interested that I also considered like doing like 2 calls, like first to get to know the customer, and then like 15 minutes, yeah, and then for example 40 up to 45 minutes the second call, where you basically go through everything with them, and also on the first call you can get to know like if they for example, have the power to make the final decision, you know. So, and on the second call, you can get like ready for everything and close them there. So yeah, yeah, this is just a question from my side. Like I was thinking that this would be like good strategy. But
Yeah, that's a good question. So you're basically going to qualify them on the first call. So see, are they the decision maker? Do they have the funds and all those things? My objection to that, or my counterpoint, is why not do it just either in the DMs when you call them, when you book them from the ads, or when you cold call them, or what's better, in the actual the form when they book a call with you. So you can ask a question: are all of the decision makers, are they going to be present on this call for when you book it? And if they say no, then you get in contact with them. You're like, hey, I need all decision makers, otherwise I'm not going to hop on the call. And if they say yes, then you already know he's a decision maker and he can make the decision. Okay, so there's really no point of 2 call closes. Like unless you guys are doing crazy volumes, even us, we don't do 2 call closes. Never.
Okay, I get it. I just thought it like builds the trust, and people are sometimes like a little bit nervous on the first call. So I just thought like it helps, for example, with the nervosity and everything. You know, it builds that trust. Yeah,
Now that
okay, so he's
you
not
can build
competitive.
trust. You can build trust. Ideally, when they hop on a call, they're already trusting you. That's the perfect business model. That's
Okay.
why when they book a call with us, they get reminders like with some of my YouTube videos, they get redirected to my content, to my Instagram, and then they start exploring on their own sort of accord. And then when they hop on a call, they already know everything about me. So that trust is already built. Yeah, so that's why I always tell people having a personal brand and making content is very important because it helps build that trust. But yeah, everyone's nervous. You're nervous on the calls. I'm nervous. They're nervous. But at the end of the day, we're all trying to solve each other's problems. And if you can convey that in the call, it doesn't have to be through 20 calls. You can just do it in one call. 45 minutes is more than enough to make it happen.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And like worst case, if at the end of the call, they kind of like it, but they're not fully sold, then you schedule a follow-up call.
Okay.
Yeah. But some people will buy on the first call. And all of those people, the potential one call closes, you just completely eliminated that because you do a 2-call close. So only do 2 calls for those who are nervous, those who are really like, yeah, I need to think about it. I don't have the money and stuff like that. You should still push, but if it doesn't work out, then you do a follow-up call.
Good. Thank you. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
you're welcome, bro. Cool. All right, guys. Very good call. Lots of good questions. It was nice to meet the new faces, the new names. As usual, if ever you guys have any questions, anything whatsoever, make a post in the community. That's where I'm most active. Otherwise, you can DM me as well, but it will take more time. And yeah, we'll talk to each other next week. Let's make some money. I want to see some wins, okay? More wins. We had a couple this week, which was very nice, but I want to see more. Yeah, we'll talk to each other next week, and I'll put, as usual, the recording on the Skull group. So if you guys want to look back to my answers and everything, everything's going to be available on the platform. Okay?
Appreciate
Thank you,
it, bro.
everyone. You're welcome, bro.
Thank you,
All right.
Oliver.
Peace, everyone.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, man.